Hello, and thank you for stopping by another edition of the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal75, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews. And today, before I get to this interesting beer review, I want to thank everybody that has linked up with me on Facebook, on the Massachusetts Beer Reviews Facebook group. We are, as of December 4th, 2016, we are 107 members strong. That is, as of right now, to me, that's crazy. That's crazy that it's gone where it has after being maybe a month or two, active and live. So that's a good place to have. I mean, YouTube here in the comments are a great place as well, but that's even a better place to get in touch with anybody else in the beer community that is a supporter of mine and that collaborates and talks with me in the beer community and the other guys in the beer community. It's a good place to share your videos, share your pictures, share your comments, ask beer-related questions, just have a fun time chatting about beer. So, to 107 people, I salute you, thank you, and hopefully this whole thing can grow and grow and grow. And the main part of any of this is that it's fun to do it. It's not a job. I wish it was a job. It's not a job. It's just a very fun hobby, and I want to continue doing it in a responsible and fun way with the rest of the community. So, without further ado, on that note of 107 people, I pulled out what I think is going to be a special beer from the cellar. It is, as the title says, this is the Cooper's Vintage Ale from 2009, folks. Wow. This is the second oldest beer I have in my cellar. The first one, I don't know when I'm going to pop that, is a Schlafly Reserve Barley Wine from 2009 or 2008. I think it's a 750 milliliter bottle. I found it in Luke's Liquors in Rockland, Massachusetts. Don't know why it was there, because we don't get Schlafly beers distributed in our area. So, from what I understand, there's variations to this recipe every year that they brew the Cooper's Vintage Ale, and different hop varieties that they use. Couldn't really obtain much about the 2009's variety. It is considered an English strong ale on Beer Advocate. Excuse me. And the way that they go about describing a English pale ale or English strong ale is it's stronger than a pale ale, but not quite a barley wine. And this is at 7.5% alcohol by volume, and it's in a 12.7, strangely enough, fluid ounce bottle. They say Cooper's Vintage has been brewed with choice malts and extended top fermentation to provide a robust, flavorsome ale. Stored under cellar conditions, the rich and full flavor of Cooper's Vintage will become more complex over an extended period. Not had the series of vintage ale before, so looking forward to that. Kosher. It is? It is kosher. And Cooper's is out of South Australia, Regency Park, South Australia, Australia. And they've been around, I believe, if I read correctly on the internet, since 1829. And this cost me only $3. So that's exactly why I bought it. And this is only coming out of the cellar temperature at maybe around between 55 and 60, probably closer to 60, I would believe. It's got a foil kind of cap on it, and I can already smell some yeasty, alcohol-y notes just from when I popped at the top. There is some smoke vapor. Still got a little bit in the bottle. And there's not a whole bunch of head, as you can see. There's little to none. It's popping and fizzing away. Let's get a... Ooh, wow. Let's get a look. I just got another nose. Let's get a look at the beer. It is very amber. It's got those amber, reddish, mahogany, darker kind of notes to it. and it's definitely bottle condition. There's lots of sediment. You can't see it, but there's lots of sediment in that bottle. I'm gonna swirl it. Yeah, let's get a nose on the vintage ale from Cooper's 2009. Yep, it's got some barley winey kind of turned fruit characteristics to it. Definitely a brown, bready, molasses, brown sugary kind of note. There's definitely an unmistakable kind of a spicy, almost like a fruit cake or some kind of spicy December holiday kind of foods. Maybe a gingerbready. Definitely herbal in quality. Definitely has a syrupy toffee caramel kind of scent to it. And it smells bigger than 7.5, so that's sort of throwing me off slightly, but big, malty, syrupy, sweet notes is what you're getting in the smell. So let's see if that translates to the taste. Cheers, guys. Thank you for supporting Massachusetts Beer Reviews. Ooh, that is very interesting in a positive way. I'm definitely getting that caramelly, toffee type syrupy molasses note. Definitely brown bread. Definitely, it's, again, as you can see with the lip smacking, it's kind of chewy like a big red wine, sort of in that vein. I'm trying to figure out how to describe that. There is that turned fruit sort of a quality, but it's not quite as turned fruit as an actual barley wine is. There's definitely spicy hop elements to this one. There's definitely an herbal quality, just like in the aromas of the beer. And 7.5 shows up, and there's a head at the end. 7.5 shows up, but 7.5 isn't a burning sensation. At 7.5, I wouldn't expect it to have much of a warmth or a big warming presence, but it does have some of that characteristic. So if you're, I gotta imagine 2016 is going to be similar, and the other vintage ales from Cooper's are going to be similar in base flavors. So if you ever see a Cooper's vintage ale wherever you are, you can see a singular bottle for a similar price of $3 or roughly around there, plus or minus. It's not a bad one to try out if you've if you've never had higher alcohol beers, or if you've never even tried barley wines or wild ales, or not wild ales, but just strong ales, or whatever you want to call those things. It definitely has the British malty kind of a feel in the taste, for sure, with that brown bread crust. And there are some woodsy notes too. Maybe a cedar type note. Or kind of a barreling note. I don't think that they barrel aged this. But I'm wondering if this was going to be a lot hotter of an alcohol presence, even at 7.5, if you tried it fresh. So I hold judgment on this might be a good one to try out because I don't know if a current version would be this smooth in its alcohol presence and notes to it. But this one goes down smooth as hell. In some aspects, there is a refreshing, I say that loosely, type quality to it. There's definitely a lot of good carbonation, zing, and bite to it. It dries very nicely. It leaves you wanting more. And it definitely ends on that slightly sour, no, not slightly sour, slightly bitter, with some type of spicy hop, and a little bit of the syrupiness from the caramel and the toffee type flavors that I'm getting in the beer. But overall, I'm thinking Beer Advocate's at 86. I'm thinking right around the high B plus range. Ain't bad for this. So that 86 is 87, I'll give it. If it was bigger and bolder and a little bit more complexity to it, it might be a world-class rating for me. But beers don't have to be big and bold and in your face to really, really be enjoyable. But this one actually turned out to be really, really, really enjoyable, and it's an easy and pleasurable beer to drink. And I can't remember the last time I had an actually legit Australian beer. I know you can get Cooper's at a lot of the bigger liquor stores that have a good craft beer selection. I can't recall that I've had an Australian beer, so this could be the first one I've had, and it's a nice one. So, yeah, 87's pretty good. We're going to wrap this one up. This has been the Vintage Ale from 2009 by Cooper's, an English strong ale. I want to thank you all again for supporting the Massachusetts Beer Reviews and watching and commenting and having a good time on social media. This whole beer thing is not about putting anybody down. It's not about telling anybody what kind of beers they should or should not be drinking. I like beers like this. I like beers like Hetty Topper. I like Trillium beers. I like Imperial Stouts, barley wines. And I do like Modelo beers, Corona beers, your American adjunct style lagers, and everything in between. So I'm not mutually exclusive to a beer style or to a type of a beer drinker. So bring it on. If you want to join me, comment below. Go to the Massachusetts Beer Review channel or group of Facebook. Send me a message. Let's get together and do a beer review, guys. Cheers. We'll see you soon.